本藏不灭啊，我也那不拉达巴，我这世界三世，我本藏里给啊，我且家人们姐姐有。Kurve so humore javore sharal babo lo zambole no balance Shardamenye shardole dan le bay loro ngaya dan ngaya Nobdo yondan dan lam jon doi chanto damenye dan damenye genda Rimpoche rewo basam jeshen donje yeba Mame baye lodo Kolo Rimpoche, Nobo Rimpoche, Zomo Rimpoche, Limbo Rimpoche, Langbo Rimpoche, Dajo Rimpoche, Mabe Rimpoche, Derechembe Bumba, Gigba Ma, Tawa Ma, Loma, Karama, Mendoma, Tuguma, Nasema, Deshama, Nyema, Dawa, Rimpoche, Du, Jole, Nabraja, Janzenje, Usol, Hadan, Miye, Benjo, Bezon, Zob, Mazanwa, Meba, Shingama, Nabra, Dabali, Lama ye dama sanje chansen bawa kanto che jo sum soda jeba namlan biwa je wo do je do we den do jesu so jene chinje la do so beje men do da ri ra le she nye de jen ban Sanje shila mi de buwai, Duke nanda shendo jubrajon. Yeah. Wada chijin shabada, Jesu yeram kusha so. Gawa chungse dage jisa ba tamje zob janju chire ngowo. Zambo dembe we chanju lam la barje mejo. Dezuma jave kumba toba ta siva mende shivam. Nangba da nyambe do nama to warai shon. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, samba da loye che da che da wa che jo tomo te che ge kolo gordo zo. Doja Jaja de la Narada, Mameta Bobo de Jidego, Kutu Sumdu Sawa Lamesa, Tajula Mahitum Sejula, so on the Taju Changelo. Yababa de Jida Sunduda, Tabesura Sigata Taba, Tajaba Kunjo, Yaba, Shamla Swan, so Konobato, Tunja to the Mega one, the Vesula Chukusa, say. Shishakala Jero Jungle Zebe, Don the Zilla Labo, Java Tabakuna Zebe, Kajuru Busala Kuza, say. Timea soto yeji ngondo, mada yeji ngobo che tawa, tuja zeba ku yeji yeji, nyame dugu reje ku ja se, chenye ne kyula ma je pa, tanya seke chenda ne tuta nge pe lupa. Yunyang da ke la me jab to se, ka ke te je te shenye, ke shenye la shawa ka la ma reje tawa ku, to je chen sha pe la de. Kanda Jojo Dongo Judena, the Jolomarjuroga, so the dinner temptation, Jaramba Basamba, the bottom, then there is Taso Jadam Jolo Chosen to watching yellow doso, Jelamto to watching yellow doso, Lamatuba watching yellow. Truba is the Chawa Chinja love those Manjanamata and Yabasim Jatam Jet, what and then to what the new Anama Bayanta was a toward your Manamata and Yabasim Jatam Jet, what and then to what and the new Anama Bayanta was your bush to your Manamata and Yabasim Jatam Jet, what and then to what and the new Anama. Yanda was over Chanju Rimpoche, Jinejato, Jineja, Topracha. Good morning, everybody. Uh, thank you for coming here today to reflect some of the Buddha's teaching. Um, as we know, there are so many things in the world, everywhere, and people are keeping busy in their life, including animals, insects, bugs in the ocean, or the sea mammals, birds. We all keep busy doing something to looking for some peace, happiness, looking to free from suffering. That's the, that is the, what should say, a universal reality. It's not as something like religious belief, or it's not something like cultural we believe. Um, those who are educated, uneducated, those who are very rich, those who are poor, everyone is in this war, in that field. So this is we're here that to reflect on these things. And you see, therefore, as we said as prayers, all mother sentient beings may have happiness and causes of happiness. May everybody free from suffering and causes of suffering. See, this, as mentioned, is not just a religious belief or some culture, some traditions. So we just reflect on this. Having said that, see, there are so many things are created. A lot of different religions have found. Different culture system is found. Different methods are created to organize, to do something right. Feelings say my way is the right, or this way is the right. This should be do this way, that way, or this is, as you can see. So up until now, so there's so many things, including modern science, technologies, are specially invented, and introduced to the society. How to tackle the problems, difficulties, how to make life better, more peaceful, more happy or happier, all these things. But you can see this all mostly is from the material point of view. So much using all the technologies you can see, smartphones, all the social medias, all these are introduced so that life can become easier, better. All this designed from the material point of view. And we know there's such called mind. Mind is something that is very complex. Or in other words, we don't pay attention so much about the mind because we don't see the mind. We cannot touch the mind. No, we cannot location of the mind. Even the scientists are so looking for that, searching for that, haven't found yet. So there is a sense of the mind, but cannot really pinpoint. So you see, because of that, we just put aside. Or we use all the high tech machine, all this sophisticated technologies machine to making robots, as you can see now, so many robots are made, created. Now they're coming AI, artificial intelligence, just there. So those who have kind of ability to handle those things, they're looking forward to get better things. And those who we don't know, like myself, we're a little afraid what that will happen, what that will do, There are a lot of discussions about that. And it's kind of dehumanizing, taking all the jobs of the people they take away, So those big companies, they can take advantage of those things, you see. So like this, there are a lot of things you see. But you see, all as we know, when we pay attention more and more, it's the mind. We all know that. Even we don't see the mind, no. When I feel relaxed, feel happier mentally, I feel more happier, more relaxed, more spacious. When my mind is agitated, become sensitive, then I don't feel good. Even maybe I prepare very nice breakfast, I cannot enjoy so much, I cannot experience the taste of the food. I was thinking because I was agitated my mind. See, so that then we're looking. How should I relax my mind? So like this is so mind is at the end of the day, the mind is the total solution. This is something very profound, very vast subject. In generally, all this creation, if everything is the product of the mind, you see. Mind think how to do things. Mind think, investigate how to improve, how to make better, how to make more sophisticated. See, that's the mind. robot, we make robot, but we, what do you call, we record it. No, we record it in the robot, and that replies or you ask the questions. No. Right now, the robot has no feeling. You praise robot, oh, you are so beautiful, you are wonderful, and doesn't have feeling. So you are so bad, you are this, that, and doesn't have feeling. And especially there's no fear. There's no hope, you see. But the mind, everyone has. Even small bugs, they fear. Always alert. Now, what will happen? Like you look at the deer where they're drinking water, constantly they're watching, something will happen. Birds have that. Oh, insects have that. You say, oh, just look at this. So that's the mind. So because of that, the I repeated these things before, but if I refresh, the, before become Buddha, he was called Siddhartha. No, most of you know. He was born in a Himalaya range, a small kingdom. His father was successful man. The father provided all things that what he needed. Here's everything at that time. But also the father provided him all the education that exists at that time. He went to school. He studied all the education that exists, including different types of religions, meeting different gurus, So while he is growing in his kingdom, he has a very beautiful palace, lot of servants. He has a beautiful wife, and a kid, and all that now that we can call a perfect life, But he was not indulged in that. He was going around to the country, looking after the people, the rich people, how they live, the poor people, how they live, those who are aging, those who are sick, those who are dying, those who are young, good life. He was looking observing, observing all those, you see. Sometimes he sits under the tree, reflect on this, reflecting to himself. What I have, I'm young. I have all things that I have, but this will not last long. Looking at those poor old people, those who are sick, say, when I get in that kind of situation, how should I handle? How much material can provide when we need it? All these things. He was reflecting on this until he was 29. Now that we can say he was investigating. Sometimes people will tell you a story, something like well planned, ahead, everything's planned, But in reality, when you really think about carefully, he was investigating all this. So enjoying in the kingdom was not the solution for himself and the people in the country everywhere. So then from religious point of view, so there's some kind of hardship, ascetic life. So then when he was 29, he renounced the kingdom to more experience. For 6 years, he was in such an ascetic life, not even eating food, drinking, no shelter, no clothes. Sometimes you see his body, skeleton, just bone and the skin, you see. And he achieved such a high state of meditative state, samadhi. But still he couldn't find the solution. Now, I achieve this if I'm free from all the suffering. Not yet, you see. So then he just investigated more, reflected more. What just the very luxurious life is no solution for the suffering. Very ascetic life, hardship is not the solution for the suffering. So he broke this two system, it's a middle way. See, he renounced that life and just eat enough to sustain the life and appreciate what you have. You see. But that also not the final solution. Its way is good, but not final solution. Now what? So then, as I was talking about, is the mind. Mind is so complex. Even I achieved that kind of high state of the meditation. Still, I haven't found. So now, what should I do to reflect the mind? So then, say, everything's interdependent, interconnected. So he realized the three training is the method. Meditative, you see first, moral ethics, morality, Shila, Shila, avoiding all the causes and conditions of the problem. Right livelihoods, it's called. And then meditative state, that also required. Then on above that, most important is the prajna, especially insight. Without that realization, nothing, we cannot overcome all those suffering, especially the cause of the suffering. See, so by that understanding, realization, then he went to Bodh Gaya, as you see, where Buddha enlightened. There, with full attention, with full conviction, with one pointed mind, without any distraction. He went step by step, you see. And then through these three causes condition, he achieved the called awakened state, Then we call he was enlightened. You call Buddha, then he personally realized that is how you can overcome all the suffering and cause of suffering. Then he's with full confidence said, I achieved the awakened state, the enlightenment, the Buddha. And he has no fear to declare that. When he said, I'm enlightened, I achieved fully awakened state, there's no one can come say you are not enlightened. So he achieved fearlessness state. Then from there, through his wisdom. So this is not a religious thing, It's discovering what we call the ultimate nature. So he saw all the sentient beings in the world. Everyone desire for peace and happiness, but they don't have the method. The mind is just occupied by the delusions, the obscurations. So from that wisdom that he kindled, discovered, and then from that, the great compassion was just arise as a flavor of that wisdom. So his compassion was unfabricated compassion to all the sentient beings. Everyone is desperate to free from suffering, to achieve peace and happiness. Yet they're suffering relentlessly due to the delusions, the mental delusions. And it's very difficult to recognize that, to see that, difficult to get rid of that delusions, because we're so habituated, inveterate within us. That the habit is very difficult to break through. Even we as a Dharma practitioners, we study, we practice, we know it, we know our mind limitation, but difficult to get rid of it because it's a pernicious attachment, deeply rooted. It requires a lot of strength, determination. So look, there's these, see these things. So from there, so then he taught the first Four Noble Truth. You see, everyone knows, the Four Noble Truths. He introduced the suffering. So this is suffering. First say you should know the suffering. And this is suffering. Once you know it, there's no more to know. And this is the cause of suffering. Or you should avoid the cause of suffering. Once you avoid it, purify the cause of suffering, there's no more to avoid. You should attain the cessation, the nirvana, cessation of the suffering. once you cease to exist, the cause of suffering, there's nothing to cease to exist. But to achieve that cessation, you should follow the path. The Eightfold Path, you know that. So you see first Four Noble Truth. This causality and the result. So this is the first very important we should aware that. This is not a religious thing. It's not a Buddhism. It's not something Buddha have created, but that's how it functions. When you make fire, the water boils. When there's no fire, no matter how much you expect, the water will be hot. It can't be hot, So to boil the water, you need the fire. So this, how do you know to make the fire, or how to do this? It's all interdependent, interconnection, causes and conditions. See, our mind is, when there's nothing is going on, mind is calm, peaceful. When there's something happens, then the mind reacts from that. Depend on the causes condition, you see. So to think about something, there's causes and conditions and reflex, you see. So all that is mentioned, the habit that we have used to for a long time, that keep repeating on and on and on. And sometimes you feel that kind of habit is incorrigible. Do you feel that? So can I make it? if this is possible or not. If you reflect more, the reflection of this habit is not a permanent, you see. It's just coming manifest according to the causal conditions. That means it is impermanent. Having been impermanent, it can change. Change means we can purify. So we need the courage based on the wisdom, understanding that these require we to study, practice Dharma. Otherwise, we just follow, it's like culture, this, they do this, in the monastery, they do this, behave this, they do this, this is supposed to this way, This is our all good tradition, This is a culture, From the cultural point of view, look at the Buddhist country, in Tibet, and then the Chinese and Vietnamese, and in Thailand, all the Buddhist countries, Sri Lanka, everyone has something different, You see, they do ceremonies something differently, Language, different language, But from the point of view of Four Noble Truth, there's no any difference. Cause of suffering is cause of suffering to anybody, everybody. The cause for peace and happiness is for everybody. Make sense? So in this wisdom, you should understand the wisdom taught when, how long, for how long this wisdom is taught. Over 2,000, about 600 years, taught that wisdom, you see. You now should reflect how amazing that is. Especially nowadays, the science are so highly advanced. Still, you see, we are having a hard time to understand what Buddha said. See, we don't have to change anything. Said Buddha said this is wrong. No. Some scholars may say, oh, maybe some need some adjustment. That they are confusion, you know. Okay, they cannot communicate what Buddha taught precisely. If they can communicate what the Buddha taught precisely, there's nothing to change. So we are lacking the wisdom to, you know, to reveal what Buddha said. So that's why we take refuge in the Buddha, you see. Unfallible, you know, it's an unfallible refuge to Buddha. And that's what Buddha taught. Also, at the same time, Buddha said, see, Buddha was very honest, sincere to the followers. I cannot go around say take out your suffering, you know. I cannot go around take out your delusions. Neither I cannot give my realization to you. So I become Buddha. I realize now. Take it, you know. But what I can do is I can tell you what I realize. You studied that. You practiced that. See, he made very clear. He didn't say, pray to me and I will solve your problem. You are your own responsible. You have to take the responsibility yourself. That's, I think, one of the very important gifts. Otherwise, sometimes say you pray this to Buddha and this was your problem will solve. You pray Buddha, this is Buddha, and then you will go to some such place, you know. So we think Buddha will tell you all, you know. If in that case, Buddha must be done by now. That's not the case, you see. So contemplate on this, first of all. It makes sense? I'm not preaching, you know. You see, I'm just sharing from my limited understanding, you know. I know there are some, my old friends, yes, I met in the 80s, you know, there are some, my friends who I met in the 80s, many of them died now. And, you know, they're old, they're sick, you know. But still we are few here around. So if you have any questions or any suggestions, you know, please, you know, we can discuss. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Oh?
That microphone, that handheld
Uh-huh.
back.
Yeah. Purification is the purification to purify the cause of suffering. Yes. Because first of all, the cause of suffering is made by the mind through the delusion. Now you develop wisdom. Okay. So I made this mistake. It's not right. So you correct your mistake. So it's called purification. Okay. Then you chant mantra. You say, oh, this I made mistake. I confess. I will not repeat. Okay. You see, like say, when you're angry, anger is a suffering in the mind. You don't realize there's a suffering when I'm angry. Then later you realize, oh, I was very mentally disturbed by my anger. So anger is the one who disturbed my mind. That's not right. I made mistake. Now I will give up being angry. Okay? I purify my anger. You see, when you purify your anger, then you find your mind is more relaxed. Okay, so you purify your anger. Make sense? Yeah. Yes. Yes, I can also hear more.
Yes, Rinpoche. I just want to ask, you can share with us how we can grow more bodhisattva.
See, now we'll talk about those. Yes. Yes, yes. We'll talk about this, First, these are some introduction, It's very important to have the good introduction. What Buddha taught, You have to repeat this again and again. Oh, this is what Buddha taught. This is how, why we're practicing. So, Buddha's teaching is for everybody, okay? There's no limitation. Buddha's teaching is not just only for Buddhists. Buddha's teaching is not just for monks and nuns. Buddha's teaching is for everybody, especially human beings, because animals are under the mercy of the human beings. And the human beings have more understanding, have more wisdom, more compassion, then you see the animals will be a little more peaceful, Otherwise, look at nowadays, you see there's a chicken farm, fish farm. Those people, they have no really wisdom if these animals are suffering. They're like a piece of rock, piece of wood, have no any feeling of they have some suffering that I need to help them. Look at this, you see. That's how some first Bodhicitta is come from there. See. This is the first important point to develop bodhicitta. First, you look at the suffering of the animals, sentient beings, those who are getting old, those who are getting sick, and that's it, they are desperate. And we are the condition of that. Rano, maybe we're young, we're healthy, okay, I can drive here, there, but that doesn't mean we will be not be free. We don't have the cause of condition of suffering. We are under the condition of suffering of all this. See, so that's why Buddha said you should know the suffering. It doesn't mean you say I'm suffering terribly. So no, we know that is suffering. Everybody knows that. But what are more about the suffering? The suffering of change, the suffering of conditions. No? We are a condition of aging, We'll age every year, every minute, you see. And then say that is following, coming up this suffering of change. And now we enjoying our life. All these things so wonderful, beautiful. That doesn't last long. Then you see, but we are so indulged in that. Our mind is so occupied by this temporary joy, happiness. And then we are not satisfied. In the world, there's no satisfaction. See? Even billionaires are not satisfied, isn't it? Is that right? They're not satisfied. Oh, especially there are some people, they're unhappy. Unhappy billionaires. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask a question about the cessation of the causes of suffering.
Cessation of the suffering. Yeah.
So gross obscurations are
Yes.
very easy. Say, like
Yes.
when I have a day where I'm very angry, that's an easy one because it's
Yes.
very gross.
Gross is easier to.
But they always come from subtle obscurations.
Yes.
And what is your advice for us lay practitioners, how we can identify subtle obscurations and how to purify those on a more subtle level for the suffering?
Subtle obscurations that you see. Look at the mind. Do you know everything? So that means there's obscuration. Okay. So that's obscuration is a subtle obscuration. Okay. Okay. I don't know what is underneath, so you don't know, So there's some is hidden there, That hidden that is then obscuration is called, there's a karmic obscuration, mental afflictive emotion obscuration, and there's a called knowledge obscuration, knowing everything, obscurations. So the karmic obscurations, you don't know the karma, role of the karma, all these things. And mental the afflictive emotion obscuration is, you see, we have obvious attachment, desire, aversion, arrogance, all these things, It's called mental afflictive emotion obscuration. Then there's, as I mentioned, we don't know everything. It's called obscuration of the knowledge. So, you have to purify step by step. Okay. Yeah. So that practice, as mentioned, the three training which will come in the text, are so crucial. So that how when Buddha enlightened, so that's what I mean, he first fully awakened and everything becomes obvious. There's nothing to judge. Okay. There's nothing to judge in Buddha's mind. No. Everything's so obvious, clear. If Buddha sees me, Buddha knows me perfectly. He doesn't have to ask about me. He knows precisely, or like you, what I need, what I should do. So that's why Buddha first taught the Four Noble Truths. Then, as I mentioned, the mind is very profound. So there's so many steps you have to take. It's like peeling the onion. When you peel the onion, then you see, oh, you just peel, you know. Like mine is like that. One after another, one after another. In one way, I'm sure you have received a lot of Mahamudra teaching. Have you received a lot of Mahamudra teachings? Dzogchen teachings? Yeah, I'm sure you have received, you read books, you know. There's nothing to give up. There's nothing to, you know. I'm sure those things you have received, no? When everything's just flow, everything is just manifestation. No, just take it easy, you know. But then, after some time, it's not that easy, you know. There's something to give up, you know. There's something to work on, you know. So these are very important. That's what the great teachers in our past taught that way, step by step. Because the mind has to, you know, go step by step. Otherwise, when you were premature, those advanced teachings, you receive those teachings, and they said, that's it. That's, oh, yes, that's how it goes, you know. Okay. For a few days, you feel good. But after a few days, then repeating the same, the back, then you feel Dharma is not working. You know, Dharma is not working. They give up because they are not trained step by step. So the Buddha, you know, first Buddha didn't say everything's empty, you know. First said, this is, you should know there's a suffering, that you should know this different suffering, suffering of change, and suffering of conditions. These all steps there. Okay. Then the cause of suffering, look at these mental afflictions there. And from that, what karma we're creating, the cause we're creating. Explain all this, how to avoid those. Then what happens after avoiding all this? You will achieve cessation of suffering. Nirod is called in Sanskrit. Nirod. Nirod is cessation of suffering. No. Nirod. Path, mark is then you take the path step by step. No. So these are so important. First, when Buddha taught, everything is, here we have, you know, everything is impermanent. All the composite phenomena are impermanent. Everything's changing, impermanent. Intellectually, I can accept. Experientially, I don't have in mind changing. I see this is me today. I was coming from yesterday. I was coming from last year. I am this, still I am. As long as when I remember my life, I feel the same that I am. You see, permanent, feeling of permanent. So that means we have not experienced the impermanence. When you know the impermanence is changing, everything's changing. Oh, everything's fresh, like a star, the shooting star in the sky, just flashing. Like this fan, you see, you go around, it's impermanent. Everything's so impermanent, you see. Look at that. So every moment is keep changing, you see. Look at that. Meditate on this. Then you see, oh, and I should realize my mental afflictions also impermanent, changing. Until I realize that, my mental affliction is still strong because I have a sense of permanence, permanence of grasping, fixated, and that's why it's difficult to get rid of mental afflictions. It's just continue the habit. So that's why sometimes Buddha tell all the monks, sometimes they are distracted. So Buddha said, all monks hear me. All the composite phenomena are impermanent. When Buddha said this, the monks will feel so kind of calming their mind, relaxing their mind. This is very important that we should reflect on this. Everything is impermanent. Especially like say people you don't like. Oh, they are impermanent, They are impermanent. Otherwise says he or she is my enemy, Yesterday, last year's enemy, yesterday's enemy. We just keep holding that because this we have the feeling of permanence. Seeing the enemy as yesterday, last year, all this cannot get rid of, cannot release in the mind. If you perceive that this is impermanent, he or she is impermanent, changing, they are suffering, then you see your mind feels relaxed, your mind feels more flexible. These are more powerful than just emptiness. First reflect on those things. Touch on those bases. So that's why Buddha's teaching is so precious. There's two things, from intellectual point of view and experiential point of view. Intellectually, you can investigate, you can establish everything is impermanent. Then you can say Buddhists believe everything is impermanent, something like belief system. Then from that, if you practice, follow that path, it's not just Buddhist belief. This is all where we are, how we are living in that moment, living moment to moment. And your mind becomes soft, gentle. Your mind becomes more flexible, you see. And then from there, it makes a space to develop compassion to others, loving kindness to others, because there's a wisdom. That wisdom, brings the insight. Make sense? Or am I talking nonsense? Helpful? Or not so helpful? I think these are so precious. We should understand the Buddha's wisdom. When we go to a lot of teachings, there's, as mentioned, most of them just investigation, intellectual, what Buddhists believe, say Buddhists believe karma, Buddhists believe that this becomes Buddhism, But if you go through this experiential, it's not a Buddhism, it's a living how we are. It's called unfabricated, uncontrived. When you see everything's moving, changing, like breathing out, breathing in. When you see this, if the breathing go out and doesn't come back, what happens? You know? See? We're so fragile. So sense of the permanence kind of destroyed by this experience, by this, then that becomes a foundation to develop all the good qualities of meditation. Otherwise, sometimes we practice for many years, nothing is progress. So what happened, I got nothing. That's why Miller Rebbe said, he meditating on the impermanence so much. So this in Tibetan he says just machiwe jini relate, namchi chame komkomne, chimi nyume sensasi, ta chiwe jikpo portetes. I escaped the mountain, but fear of the death. What if I die today? You never know. As mentioned, you're just perfectly healthy, all fine. But if the breathing goes out and doesn't come back, it's not threatening. Please understand that. Sometimes they will, you'll die, everything's in permanence. So he's just, so threatening us, he tried to scare us, It's not that. We have to understand practically, So Miller Rebbe said, I escaped the mountain by the fear of the death. While I'm in the mountain, I persistently contemplate on the impermanence. Going to the mountain is not the solution. But while you are on the mountain, you are free from all the distraction and then contemplate. So when I die, when I will die, never know. Everything is just changing, flashing the light. He was practicing that. By practicing that, you see everything is like a mirage. Nothing is real now, you see. Nothing is real. It's like a mirage. It's like a rainbow. It's like a cloud. See? Then you see this, you experience that. Look at our body. You see? Oh, look at all the organs, the skin, the bone, flesh, all this. It's all just a mirage. So he was practicing this out of bodhicitta, practicing that. So through this practice, he said, I capture the fortress of the unchanging, deathless nature. Now totally realize as it is. This all just table, this all are fabricated. It's all contrived. It's called from emptiness we made this table. So designed the table. We sized all to make the table. Then we designed the table, label as the table, and then we're grasping, this is my table, This table is so good. This is expensive. This is this, that's that, Then we just fabricate all these things and attach to that, grasping on that. But when you realize this is just made by the mind, it's product of the mind. You look at this, and then it makes your mind more peaceful, more calm. It's illusory. It's manifestation of the emptiness. It manifests from emptiness, it dissolves into emptiness. All just play of the emptiness, now you can see. So that's why Milarepa said, I capture the fortress of the unchanging nature of the deathlessness. Now I'm free from the fear of the death. So death may come anytime. I have no fear. You see. So how precious the impermanence is. Don't think impermanence is just, what do you call, mundo, preliminary, Sometimes say, preliminary. Impermanence is preliminary. I understand impermanent. I understand perfectly about impermanence. I don't need that now. I need something else, I know about suffering. That's why I'm here practicing Dharma. Can you give us how to free from suffering? I know the suffering, So we just try to denigrate the preliminaries, making unimportant. But this is the most important. The causalities as well. The karma and cause, result. So precious these are. So they are, now I'm just trying to explain you at all, everything is not a Buddhism, but how everything constitutes, okay? How everything Buddha talked is not something Buddha's culture or religion, but how to free from this suffering, okay? And since the mind is measured, since the mind is so complex, mind is unfathomable, so profound, so, vast. Because the mind is so vast, Buddha has that kind of all excellent qualities. Okay. So how to handle our mind? So I'm explaining, how to relate to our own mind. Okay, the mind is a very complex subject yourself. We all have the mind, A lot of the modern science, they say the brain is the mind, isn't it? You see, mind is little more than a brain. You see, to brain, you can say, oh, your brain is very beautiful. Brain has no reaction. Does brain have some reaction? You have a very stupid brain. The brain will say nothing, But mind, you see, it's all the reaction of the mind. So you are good, so you are not good. So the mind reacts all this. And the mind label all these things. But we don't realize how these things are labeled. That's why it is called, this kind of obscurations is called adventitious obscuration. Okay? They're all temporary. So the mind itself is beyond all things. I'm sure sometimes you have heard of inexpressible. Have you heard of inexpressible? See, you cannot express. It exists or not exists. Where it is exists, where it not exist. No. But it is within us. We cannot deny that, you know. Even you say, I don't like it, it's okay. You don't like it, but you have it. So Buddha, as you know, went all this experiment, okay, from the just wonderful life to the most difficult life, all went through, and finally then taught these teachings to us. So many great teachers produced from that. You know, those who understood his teachings, and they sacrificed to receive his teachings. Just look at the life story of Marpa. You know, have you heard of Marpa Losa? The great translator. You know, he sacrificed his life totally, 100%, to bring this Buddha's wisdom to Tibet. And he produced disciples like Milarepa. You know, still we remember Marpa, Milarepa, you know, so precious. Meditate on these things. Okay. What time we have? 11? No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm just, how much time we have? After 12? How much? 40 minutes. 30 minutes. We go through this text a little bit. So maybe I'm talking too much, but it's good, you know. As I mentioned, we have here very senior practitioners. No, I hope you don't mind that I talked all about things. This you don't feel that my time is wasted. I was expecting something else. Here we have this translated some months ago. It's written by Lord Jigten Sumgun. You've heard of the founder of the Dikunkaju lineage. And he was the reincarnation of Aryan Nagarjuna. And he has thousands and thousands of disciples. So one of his disciples is called Thakpa Dorje. I think he has requested Jigten Sumgun to write him a teaching, write a letter to him. Maybe he was in the retreat. So it's on the stages of Mahamudra practice. So Jigten Sumgun wrote this, a letter to Thakpa Dorje on the stages of Mahamudra practice. So in this text, this short, only you can see 3 pages. And a beginning, opening, and then actual teaching and conclusion. The opening is paying homage to his guru, Pamutuba. Pamutuba was the disciple of Kampupa. Pamutuba was a great scholar as well as highly accomplished in meditation. And Jigten Sumgun received all teachings from him, from Kampupa's lineage. So he say, I pay homage to the feet of the precious Guru, who is of the nature of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas of the three times. So he perceives, he sees his Guru as the embodiment of all the Buddhas. All the Buddhas, their wisdom, their compassion, their excellent qualities are possessed by his Guru, Pamudruba. So he perceives that. So because of that, so a treasure of auspiciousness, all the auspicious means all the good conditions, all the excellent results are come from you. And all the happiness come from the Dharma study, practice. You cannot buy happiness from outside, anywhere, but you have to achieve from your own mind. Okay? Happiness. So this is the paying homage. And next paragraph is describing who was Tapa Dorje. Chitasum is explaining. You are the noble in Tamba, in Tibetan. Tamba means noble, pure, holy, accomplished one. You study, practiced, and you are really accomplished practitioner who fully possess the accumulations, the accumulation of merit, accumulation of wisdom. You have all the accumulations you have. You know the fruit of the causes and result in samsara. You say samsara, you look at all the samsara, the 6 realms of the samsara, hell realm, hungry ghost, animal, human being, demigod, god realms, all look at their conditions, their nature, and you know the cause of this all state. See, these are very important, you see. You knew the fruits of the causes, the result in samsara, and saw them as the trunk of the poisonous tree. So these cause of suffering are the poison. Look at our mind. When we have classical arrogance, from there manifest attachment, grasping. Then from there we face obstacles, there's anger. So these 3 poisons, they are the root cause of all the suffering. So these 3 poisons are the cause of the samsara. Now he's saying, trees, Because of this, you fully ordained in the doctrine of the sage. For ordained means you free from, to try to free from all these poisons, you are ordained. And the doctrine of the sage means in the Buddha's teaching. Okay? Sage is the Buddha, doctrine is the Dharma. And the Dharmas of the Buddha's teaching, you are ordained, fully ordained. Because you know it, not just emotionally. You are fully devoted and have the awakened the karmic connection to Dharma. See, because of this, your understanding of this, you have full devotion to Buddha's teaching, to study, practice, and have awakened the karmic connection to the Dharma. The glorious eternal note of your mind is filled with the ambrosia of the teachings of the holy beings. So all the Buddha teachings you have studied, Buddha's teaching and all the lineage masters that you have studied, you understood their meaning, and all the wisdoms you have just filled in your mind, with the ambrosia of the teachings of the holy beings, holy being, Buddhas, and all the lineage masters. For the benefit of yourself and others, you fully engage in practice, you see, not just to understood, you studied enough, but you also engage in the practice. That's a very important point, as mentioned. Like, study is like preparing your meal, you know, and then practice is like you are just cooking and eating, digesting. You know, you are eating all this food that you have cooked. It's like practicing in your mind. Mix your mind with the Dharma teachings. See? Engage in practice. You have devotion for the body, speech, and mind of the emanation body of the precious gurus. You see, you have such a strong devotion to your guru, not just emotionally, but confidence with the body, speech, and mind, emanation body of the precious guru, the protector, without being deceived by even a hint of the corruption of beautiful words and market milk. You are not deceived by beautiful words. Sometimes you say there are some beautiful words, explain, play, all these things look so good, not being so practical. And you are not deceived by this. You are fully mentally prepared to penetrate the meaning of those teachings. And you studied, you practice this, you know this. So beautiful words of market milk. So in the West, we don't have that market milk. In East, market milk means the milks are more kind of mixed with water, a lot of water, It's called market milk. Not so authentic, Here you have 2% milk, 1% milk, or full milk. You have all this, You accept the authentic teachings. You see, you have such a wisdom, powerful wisdom, to understand the meaning of the teachings, to follow the path, and so you have such a strong dedication to follow this path, to digest the teachings. So this is short explanation, the Tapa Dorje, where Jigten Sumgö is writing this teaching, Look at see, as mentioned, Jigten Sumgö has so many disciples, and that's how many you can imagine how many there will be requests to them. And he, without getting tired, he write to all those disciples. So he was so responsible. That's why he could produce such great disciples. In his life story, they mentioned some highly accomplished in their scholarship realization, says, I'm the one, When there comes to Jigten Sumgö, and Jigten Sumgö has something to say to satisfy them, and becomes his disciple. There are some so stupid, knows nothing, and just heard of Jigten Sumgö's. Now I'm here in front of you. I know nothing. Please help me. And Jigten Sumgö never ignore that person. He has something to say to satisfy him. Such kind of great teacher, totally dedicated to the sentient beings. There's no discrimination. Some are so rich, they make offerings, so much things. and some has nothing, and he shares all those things. That's how he became so famous. Such, which embodies the bodhicitta, totally embodies bodhicitta, you see. That's his disciples. Now from here, his teaching here starts. First, he said, contemplate the impermanence of all phenomena, you see. You just sit down. We can do this, You just be here. Past is past, gone. Future is not come yet here. Now here we are. You just take a breath. Breathe in, Just see how impermanent the air is coming outside through the nostril, inside, breathe in. And now, exhale, breathe out slowly, you see. Look at this, how impermanence coming in, going out. So breathe in all the blessings, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, their love and compassion. Breathe in. And it pervades in your mind, body, totally. And breathe out all the delusions, negativities. And then you just experience this is what's called impermanence. Now I understand. Breathe in. Breathe out. As mentioned, then everything you can see as a mirage. Look at the beautiful flowers here. Right now looks so beautiful, but every second is changing. In a few days, it will fade. We throw in the trash. Oh, it's changing. So what we should contemplate is, these are just examples, but in the mind, most important is, look at the mind. Through this understanding, I aware this, yes, I understood this is the wisdom. You got the wisdom. You've awakened the mind. Destroying your concept of the seeing is so concrete, permanence. That kind of feeling is purified. Now you can see as just like as mentioned, mirage. It's like illusory nature. It's just a reflection. Look at this. Meditate. Then there, when you have that kind of wisdom, that there's nothing to attach to. There's nothing to desire for. And then there's nothing to develop anger, aversion. You see this, how to free our mind from this ignorance, attachment, and aversion. When you can meditate on this way, you see, then you feel your mind is so relaxed, peaceful, you see. our mind is always disturbed by this attachment, anger, hatred, That's what we need. This is why we are practicing Dharma. Meditate like that. Everything is constituted within the framework of the impermanence. Just relax there, meditate there. Then with that, see, remind yourself and meditate on the impermanence of death. It is most important to cherish this recollection and reflection on the death. It's just I mentioned before as well. Death means not threatening, you die, it's not that. Just to see the reality nature as it is. Yes, one day I was born. Now one day I will die. In between, I make so much effort, work hard for living this life, to have happiness, joy, but how much I get it. This is all illusory nature. Without full kind of satisfaction, you work so hard, but never achieve full satisfaction. So look at this way, how you can achieve more peace. When there's more peace in the mind, then there's a joy, happiness, you see. So now here Jiddu Sungu says, even if you are recognized as good and noble practitioner, your people acknowledge you, or you are very good practitioner, successful practitioner, very decent person, but still, if we don't have the understanding and practice of the impermanence, still we're stuck in the samsara. See, in reality, you are still a worldly being. If this teaching is not born in your heart, the impermanence, the sense of the impermanence not in the mind, still you're grasping everything's real, as I mentioned, concrete, substantial. So, I'm a good practitioner. Then there's some arrogance. So that doesn't help us to develop the Dharma practice. This doesn't help us to free from samsara. Therefore, noble beings, you are noble one. Tabatorje, cut off worldly concerns and always persist in meditation practice. See, doesn't mean don't eat, don't wear clothes, care, but not too concerned, not so much attached to this. Okay. This precious human life we need for the Dharma study practice. Okay. To sustain this body, we need to eat food, wear clothes, but not too much concern, not too much attached to this, because it only brings us suffering. This is the tool. This precious human life is a tool. It's like the boat, a ship to cross the ocean. When you cross the ocean, you leave ship behind. when you're traveling in the train or flight, you go through the flight, train, and at the station, when you arrived, you leave behind. So the life, our body is like that. You respect, you appreciate, then don't too much concern about it. Don't too much attach to it. Just you take care so that you can practice Dharma successfully. 다 주도 중이 세수해. 아, 까마쭈, 정아. 야, 딱딱 배우다. Now next, he said, Chitrasumgu said, when you practice meditation of the Buddhas of the 3 times, the foundation of the teaching is the training in superior moral ethics. See, all the Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the future, Buddha at the present, what they teach is way to how to free from samsara. That we are starting practicing, not just to have happiness in this life, joy in this life, but how to free from samsara. How much the precious human body has the ability that help us to cross the samsara, achieve enlightenment. So to practice those things, first, the moral ethics is foundation of all the Buddhas of the past, present, future. Sometimes you may have heard of some very highest Vajrayana teachings, very high, view, all this, you don't need this moral ethics, They may say they don't know the causality, how causality works, they don't know, It's not easy. Have you heard of the Nagarjuna story? He lived in the world, supposedly 600 years. At the end of his life, and he has such a devoted sponsor, a king, very devoted to Nagarjuna, totally, That's why he wrote the letter to my friend. Nagarjuna wrote letter to his friend that, And the king was also totally devoted to Nagarjuna. Whatever Nagarjuna says, he just follow. So that because of that conditions made that Nagarjuna said, until I die, I will accept you not die. You will not die until I die. Then the king he has a son, maybe teenage, some maybe 20s. His mother made such a beautiful cloth, bouquet cloth, so beautiful. So mother said, your son, you come here, now you wear this. And the son liked that cloth so much. And he said, mother, I like this cloth so much, thank you so much, So then mother said, now you wear it. And the son said, no, I don't want to wear this. I want to wear this when I become king. Means when his father dies, And the mother said, no, your father will not die, Your father will live forever, because Nagarjuna can live, And then he was very depressed, the son. And then mother said, you wear and just enjoy life. The son said, no, I cannot enjoy my life. I cannot wear this cloth. And then he started kind of what you would call hunger strike. He was not eating food, He was not eating food. Then as a mother, mother likes her son so much, I cannot bear my son going through this. What should I do? So then she thought, oh, Nagarjuna was a great bodhisattva. No. So she called her son, come here, I will give you advice. Nagarjuna was a great bodhisattva. No. You ask to give his head, Then if he gives you Nagarjuna's head, means Nagarjuna will die, and your father will die. And the son was very excited, went to Nagarjuna. So today I come here, so I beg your head. Nagarjuna thought about it. Oh, now it's time. Actually, my time come now to go. Okay, no. The way I die is I have a karma to pay. When just hundreds, thousands of years when I was born as a shepherd, and in the grassland I play with the grass and cut a small bug's head by the grass, and I killed, not consciously, the bug was killed, the insect was killed, so I still have that karma to pay. So this is the time I have to pay. So before he realized that, he said, "No, you cut my head." And the child, the son, came and threw the knife on his neck, but because Nagarjuna totally realized the emptiness, totally, there's no separation, emptiness in himself. So his knife is like going through the space, nothing abstract, Then Nagarjuna says, oh, I have that karma now. Tomorrow you bring the grass, a bundle of grass, and come. And next day, then you see the child came with a handful of grass and threw, and Nagarjuna's head fall down. See, even Nagarjuna has to pay the karma. He realized totally all the emptiness, okay? That's the karma, how they play. If somebody says, when you practice high view, there's no karma, there's something is missing, Okay? Okay. That's the anyhow, so this all, what I'm talking about is avoiding all the non-virtues, this called keeping moral ethics purely by avoiding all the non-virtues. It's called moral ethics, training of the spiritual moral ethics, which you have accepted and vowed. You accept fully. You are fully ordained, and you kept the vow fully. So vowed. If you do not protect your moral ethics accordingly, as Buddha talked accordingly, here I said I used these words before. Prescription and proscription. You know this word? I use this word. You know that word? Prescription and proscription. Proscription, you know that? No, frustration. Proscription. You look at your dictionary. These two words are very important word, okay? Proscription. What is that? Can you read aloud? Prohibit. Yeah, proscribe means
The act of proscribing or prohibition.
proscribe means the doctor. When you go to doctor will say, don't eat this, this, you know. This is not good for your health, okay? So not to do these things are prescription, okay? What to do, all things called prescription. Doctor prescribe me, this is medicine, you know. Doctor prescribe me to eat this food, that food, this food. You know. So what Buddha said, don't do this, means something. Buddha is not making something to what you call some discipline to limit yourself. Okay. Instead, this Buddha prescribed so that we will not fall into the suffering. Okay. But the prescribed to do this thing means it's good for us to free from samsara, for peace and happiness. Okay. So this, what is the moral ethics? This is about that. Okay. Shila. These two words, please remember. Prescription and proscription. Okay. So here, training superior moral ethics, which you have accepted and vowed. If you do not protect your moral ethics accordingly, you will be unable to achieve liberation from the suffering of the lower realms. So, to free from the lower realm, hell realm, Holy Ghost, animal, no, or to free from this, you have to keep the moral ethics purely. Okay. Sometimes you may say, chant this mantra, it will help you to free from samsara. I think it's very difficult. Okay. Sometimes it makes very easy. You chant this mantra when we have the time, then you'll not born in the hell realm, you know. If we take care of the moral ethics, Shila, then it is guaranteed that to protect from the suffering. Okay? That's very important. Okay. And you will have, then you have deceived all the Buddhas. If you don't do that, it also deceives the Buddha. So practice of supreme moral ethics is virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end. How to become a better human being. Okay? Basically, how to become a better human being for yourself. Okay? So when you avoid, like, if you practice the 5 precepts, avoid all the non-virtues relate to the 5 precepts, and practicing the 5 precepts, you feel so good yourself. You're well protected from this. No? You're precious. Precious to yourself, precious to others. Okay? Therefore, protect this virtuous practice as you do your eyes or life. So as we keep our eye, how you protect your eyes, how you protect your life. Same way, keep the moral ethics. Okay. Basically, protect yourself. You know, and you are your own protector. You know, to free from samsara, to have peace and happiness. Okay, it's good.
Yes, Rinpoche.
Okay. Okay, now take a deep breath. Okay. And exhale. Okay, relax first. Make your mind calm, peaceful. Just briefly refresh this morning. Refresh, reflect, refresh this morning what we went. And if you understood something, you appreciate, rejoice. And you just say yourself, I'm so fortunate I have this precious human life. Because of this precious human life, I got opportunity to come here today to reflect Buddha's teaching. So precious. I have the all kind of opportunity myself how to be a better human being, more peaceful, happier. This I cannot buy from outside, from the market. Only I can achieve from within. Okay. Then what did you say?
Maybe
What do you say? Short one.
short one, just Chanchub maybe. So on page 225, can do the first prayer twice in Tibetan, once in English, and we can share here. Share the screen. Yeah. Oh, I see. Maybe this one. Go forward. Okay. Oh, we can just do this. Okay. We couldn't share. We just do the one. Okay.
Kenchen Rimpoche Ma Ge Ba Nam Ge Gyurje Ge Ba Nyam Ba Me Barayam Gone Gondo Bewasho
Chanchu Sanjo Rinpoche Ma Ke Panam Ke Gyurchik Ke Panyam Ba Me Payan Gone Gondu Pawasho.
May precious bodhicitta arise where it has not been, where it has never decreased, but grow higher and higher.
Thank you.